Hey, Surge community. Thanks so much for being with us here today at our Surge Watch Party. We're really excited to bring you Timothy Haines. Tim is a Surge mentor, and he's also a senior digital marketing strategist, educator, and founder of Symposia Labs. And Symposia Labs is a digital marketing agency based here in West Michigan, serving clients throughout the Midwest. So today, Tim's going to share how businesses can best communicate with their customers during COVID-19 and how to continue to grow their business. Please welcome Tim. Hey, Tim.
Hi, how's it going, Amanda?
Good. How have you been coping over the last month or so?
Oh, I've been doing okay. Lots to be thankful for here. Our family is safe and healthy. And although it's certainly a different time period for business owners and marketing alike, there's lots of creative opportunities out there. So we're staying energized.
Excellent. Good to hear. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say that most businesses were not planning or had contingency plans for a global pandemic and are really thinking about, the best way to stay in business, grow their business during this time, specifically when it comes to marketing. I mean, how are we communicating to our customers? It's not really business as usual, but we want to keep engaged and also hopefully continue to grow businesses during this time. So do you have any tips or strategies on the best way for companies to approach that?
Yeah, so a couple of things come to mind. The first and perhaps the most important is to make sure that you're being empathetic with your approach to content and inbound marketing as a whole. So if you have campaigns scheduled out, if you have content scheduled out, make sure you're adjusting that and taking into consideration whether or not this is the right time to send out whatever message that might have been. As a whole, I think people do want to move forward with their lives and have some sense of normalcy. So I also think there's value in kind of skipping the COVID prelude if it isn't appropriate or isn't applicable to the communication that you're having with your customers. There's just too many emails out there right now in our inboxes telling us how companies are dealing with COVID when it really didn't need to be shared or applied in this specific situation. My favorite, I just got an email from a funeral parlor the other day telling me how they were going to take care of me if I were to have a funeral during COVID, and it just didn't really feel tone appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not something you want to see in your inbox.
No.
Regular basis. Yeah, I know I think that the first couple of weeks, everybody was just kind of frozen and just trying to, figure like what the heck is going on, and how do I keep my head above water, really focusing on the financial side of things. And, with the uncertainty of when things are going to open back up and everything, it's really tough. But I agree. I think people are ready for some bit of normalcy now and, really, staying in communication with your customers and letting them know that you're still here and still providing the value that's going to, help them, I think, makes a lot of sense. So what about as far as getting new business now? Do you think, it's a good time to be selling, or, should people be like changing their kind of strategy or content around approaching that?
I think it really does depend on the industry you're in and who your target audience is. A simple example, I got an email yesterday from an IT company that we work with about a webinar for how to do Microsoft Teams and use tools like Zoom so that you could work from home. That felt both appropriate in that it was within their channel of expertise, and also it was providing value to me and had taken the target audience into consideration. So some people can certainly continue to sell with their marketing, but I think for the most part right now, People are looking to see positive content. They're looking to um, hear stories about, how you're supporting uh, the COVID crisis, whether it's donating or keeping your team kind of encouraged through, fun Zoom activities. I think keeping it a little bit more lighthearted and less salesy is probably a good overall piece of advice.
Yeah, for sure. So, as far as like communicating and putting content out there, do you have any tips, or even like events and things like that that were supposed to happen, of how best to use digital media to like repurpose those types of things?
hmm So I think that everyone should be strongly considering digital pieces of content such as this, webinars, digital summits, digital networking events. I think there's a hunger for all of those things right now, as long as they're thought out and are actually providing value.
Mm-hmm.
I also, on the flip side, would encourage people to avoid just pushing out webinars that are one way broadcast and aren't really considering the conversation of those that are watching. People are, I think, in more need of community than they usually are. So we've been working hard to foster community with all of our content. Um, if you are doing any of those sorts of things, you should, like you're doing with this, record them. You should pull out tidbits wherever possible. So maybe after each of your interviews like this, you have 3 or 4 quotes that you can pull out from a speaker, and those become little social media posts. Maybe you have little snippets of the video. Maybe you have a goof reel, or kind of a laugh reel. You want to get as much out of that
I
content
get a
as
lot of
possible.
those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of goof reels from
Mm-hmm.
doing this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure. So what have you done with your company? I know that you were working in an office together in Grand Rapids. So how are you guys all continuing to move
Mm-hmm.
business along?
Yeah, so when it comes to moving business along for us, we're looking at each of the verticals that we serve, and we're asking, what content can we create? What value can we provide that is time sensitive in value and executable as well? So a really simple example of that, we work a lot in the construction space. So we have gone to all of our prospects and so forth in that area and said, hey, we will do these 2 or 3 things for you for free right now, and we'll do them selflessly because we want to earn your trust and develop a relationship. And if you don't need them to do them for you, we will give you 3 amazing templates that are specifically thought out for your industry to accomplish these tasks.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Yep, continuing to provide value and
Mm-hmm.
being, sensitive to the situation at the same time. I've noticed on your website that you do virtual classes or workshops, or
Mm-hmm.
that you have ways of, I think a big opportunity right now for a lot of companies, while you have your downtime, is, how to, optimizing your search engine optimization, refreshing your website,
Mm-hmm.
figuring out, having the time to really focus on a marketing strategy. Whereas, when you were really busy, kind of in the trenches day to day, that could have been kind of put on the back burner. So
Mm-hmm.
do you have like any top tips on
Mm-hmm.
great things to be working on right now when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
figuring that stuff out?
So a whole bunch come to mind. First of all, if you haven't updated or overhauled your website in a while, this is a great time to take a look at that. If it's been stagnant for the last 2 years or 3 years especially, there have been a lot of changes in Google's algorithms for SEO. And in general, it's really critical to make sure you're updating your site on an ongoing basis anyways. So that's a really good thing to spend energy on. When it comes to content strategy, many, but certainly not all, but many organizations are guilty of a one-size-fits-all approach. this is an excellent time to really dive into segmentation. So, for us, for example, construction, nonprofits, e-commerce, and so forth, we have a series of different verticals, and they each really deserve customized content that is specific to them, that uses their language set and talks about their problems in a way that's really valuable. This is a great time to dive in and spend time on that content. We know that it takes a lot of time to do, and a lot of times as marketers, we get busy with the day-to-day and we don't get the chance to do that. This is also an excellent time to give something meaningful away that fits your umbrella, kind of attaches to your brand, but is out of the box. One of my favorite emails that I've gotten this week was from a energy drink sort of thing called Huel. And they're a product to consumer brand. And their marketing VP, now this is a pretty large startup, and I'm assuming they're very busy usually. Their marketing VP had reached out to me because I was a marketing professional. He saw that I had bought a box of their drinks at one point and offered me a free 2-hour mentoring and brainstorming session specifically around marketing.
Wow. Did you take him up on it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So this is a great time. I point there with that third one. It's a great time to reach out to your customers, your email list, what have you, and give them something really meaningful and valuable. But think about what it is. Don't be tone deaf. Don't just add to the noise. Don't just tell me you're there for me and you care about me. If that's all you have to say, then don't bother.
Got it. Yep, I agree completely. So any last bits of wisdom or thoughts before we close?
I think that it's important to, in addition, to thinking about what to do in the next week or two, I think it's also important to start thinking about how this will change your customers' needs down the road or your clients' needs down the road, and make sure that you're positioned from a marketing standpoint with whatever you think is going to be next, or whatever you think is going to come out of the quote unquote pivot that many organizations are having to make. A great example of that is if you see perhaps more people working from home, maybe there will be a bigger thirst for educational content. And we are of the belief that that will be the case.
Excellent, excellent. So thanks so much, Tim. We really appreciate you taking the time. For whoever's watching, please feel free to put some questions for Tim or comments in the comment section of this Facebook watch party, and he will be answering those. And until next time, everybody stay safe and healthy. Thanks again, Tim. Take care.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, everyone.